Should I pay a credit card that is charged off? This is one of the most common questions that I get from my clients. They're not sure what to do with that old debt. Well, stay with us in this video. We're going to talk about what to do. In this episode, we're going to discuss what a charge-off is and how an account even gets to charge-off status. Then we'll discuss potential ramifications of not paying a charge-off, and then I'll discuss with you why paying off a charge-off might be a good idea. So what is a charge-off anyways? People are very confused by it. They see the word charge-off and they think to themselves, why am I getting collection calls? Why are they trying to pursue debt when they charged it off my credit? So let's clarify. All a charge-off is a statement that a creditor puts on your credit report. It's really just accounting terminology. All it means is that the account was charged off and deemed as uncollectible. That's all that it means. It's charged off on their bad debt expense, and later on, they're likely to take a tax credit for that. It's just a designation. Unfortunately, a charge-off is still owed. A lot of people think that once it goes into that status, it no longer is a debt that they're legally responsible for. The reality is that they're very much still legally responsible for that debt. So how does an account get to charge-off status anyways? Well, let's assume that we have a credit card that we had hard times with. Let's say you were one of those businesses that went under during COVID and your credit cards got maxed out and you had to make the decision, okay, I'm gonna feed my family or I'm gonna pay my credit cards, which is a common decision when people are having financial stress. And of course, you're gonna feed your family. You're gonna make those choices. So the credit card goes into 30-day late status and then 60-day late status. It goes 90 days late all the way up to 180 days late. That's 6 months. In most cases at that point, the creditor is going to designate that account as uncollectible or charged off, and then it can take a couple of different pathways from there. In many cases, the original creditor will just hang on to that debt. They're going to try to collect in-house, and if they don't collect within that 7-year time frame, oftentimes during that timeline, they'll often take the tax credit from the federal government. That's option number one. Option number two is that they can actually outsource that debt to a much more aggressive company, sometimes attorneys and other collection agencies. In other words, it's beyond the scope of what they're willing to do in-house, so they outsource it. What that means is that the creditor still very much owns that debt, even though you're getting phone calls from a second collection agency that you're not really aware of who they are. The third option for a charge-off is for it to get sold outright to a secondary collection agency that has actually bought that debt in full. And the way you can tell the difference between option number 2 and option number 3 is if it's outsourced debt or if the creditor is working on collecting that debt in-house, you're going to see a balance on the charge-off account on your credit report. If there's no balance, in other words, there's zero balance on that charge-off and you have not paid or settled that account, that means it was sold to a collection agency, which means the collection agency legally has the right to collect on that debt. So the question that most of my clients have is, hey, what happens if I don't pay this thing? Well, I mean, some bad things can happen, right? Depending upon what state you're in, there can actually be legal action. You can get served with paperwork. The creditor can say, hey, look, you owe me this money. I'm going to take you to court. You sign off on the paperwork, and then a court date is set, and you go before a judge, and the judge simply says, yes, you owe the money, provided that it's legitimate debt. And then what happens from there is the judge will put a judgment on you and possibly a lien on your house or assets, depending upon what state you're in. As an example, we're in Texas. In Texas, it's one of the most consumer-friendly states in all of the states. The statute of limitations to be sued is going to be 4 years. It's different for all states. It can go up to 10 years in some states. So after 4 years, they can't legally sue you for the debt. And then on top of that, if they do sue you within that time frame, in Texas, there's really not a whole lot of things they can do to collect. Sure, they can go before a judge. Sure, the judge can say you owe them money. But really, if they put a lien on your home or other things, depending on circumstances, it's still pretty hard to collect. So each state has their own specific laws. So you're going to Google search your specific state. You're going to Google search statute of limitations on credit card debt for Illinois, for California, for Texas, and it's going to pull up a number. You're going to see what your number is. And it's going to pull up a number of years that once those years have passed, they can no longer sue you. Do me a favor, please like and subscribe to my channel. As you very well know, the YouTube algorithm is very specific. If we don't get likes and we don't get comments in our section and people aren't subscribing, then the YouTube is not going to promote my channel. We're a relatively new channel and I'd really appreciate your help. Another very common question that I get asked is it a good idea to pay off a charge-off? And I'm going to give you some tips and some opinions that are probably not going to be what you hear from most credit consultants that help people with their credit. Most every time they're going to say never pay it doesn't make sense, without exception. And in my world, I view that very differently. I view that if you have debt, it meets the legal requirements to be on your credit profile, you have the budget to do something about it, then possibly it makes sense. The first step, though, of course, is to go through every aspect of the account and make sure that it meets the legal requirements to be there. Remember, the Fair Credit Reporting Act is very specific about the way that an item needs to look in order for it to maintain its status on your credit profile. So do the due diligence first and analyze every aspect of all three bureaus with that account, dates of last activities, payment history, and anything that is not consistent, you have the right by law to dispute. And I recommend that you do that. Remember, these consumer laws are written for you. They're written to protect you. So before you even consider what to do with the debt, it best meet the legal requirements to be there. That's the first step. Now, if it does meet the legal requirements to be on your credit, and let's say the debt's less than 24 months old, in almost all cases, you're going to see a credit score bump by paying that debt. Now, should you pay the debt in full? No, you shouldn't. You should just try to get the balance to zero with as little as possible. Typically, a good settlement on a charged off credit card is going to be 40 to 60% of what the balance is. So if you owe $1,000 on the balance, $400 to $600 is a good settlement, getting that balance down to zero. Again, if it's less than 24 months old, in almost all cases, your credit score is going to increase. If it's over 24 months old, in some cases, you don't get very much of a bump or any bump at all. Actually, in the rarest of cases, if the account is very, very old, let's say 5, 6, maybe even pushing on that 7-year mark of when it comes off your credit, settling it can actually cause problems. So it's really important that you talk to somebody who knows how this is going to affect your credit and can give you some really good guidance moving forward. What I like about settling a charge off after you've done your due diligence to make sure that every single aspect of that account meets the legal requirements to be on your credit is that by settling all outstanding debt, it actually decreases your risk. In other words, you can have very high scores and you can have old debt that's outstanding, and you're going to possibly get denied for credit, where somebody else could have much lower scores, but they don't have any outstanding old debt, and they're going to get approved for credit offers. Now, the final reason that I think that it might be a good idea to pay off an old charge-off or settle it is because once it's been settled, it becomes exponentially easier to remove from a person's credit profile. And here's the reason why. Many times, the original creditor will not designate that account as settled and zero balance. Sometimes they take 60 days, 90 days. They take a very long time. So by law, that's inaccurate information. You settled it, yet on your credit report for the next 30 or 60 or 90 days, it's showing that there's a balance. That's a discrepancy. So you can go after that account saying, hey, listen, this was settled from my credit profile. Please remove this account from my credit. So the probability of getting it removed based on legitimate factors after it's been settled becomes much, much higher. The reason? Because the creditor has been paid. They're less likely to fight you about a removal once they've got the money that was owed to them.